ladies and gentlemen, this is it. The final part of our fantastic voyage. Still got 3 out of 4 people here with me. And we're just here to talk about the biggest, probably the biggest part of it. Fans versus the general audience. What do you, who wants to take that? Who wants to take that?
I go for it. I think it's good to cater to the fans, but not too much. Like when they try to put too much in there, like, oh, look, fans, we're putting this guy here, and it's just like, like, why would you put that in there? Because it doesn't make sense to the story and stuff. They just do it so the fans can go crazy for a little bit and then be happy. I don't think they should do that. I think they should just make a good movie. That's all I want. I'm gonna leave it off with that.
I agree. I mean, we can throw in a bunch of examples from Wolverine, X-Men, the Spider-Man 3, things like that. Characters just were thrown into just to please the fans instead of just telling a good story. Instead of, like, you know, just that way of thinking, you know. Instead of just trying to please the audience, to basically trying to please the comic book nation, us, to say, see, we were listening to you guys. That doesn't always work, you know, because sometimes, basically, we can see right through that and say, we're not stupid, you know, you just did it just to do it. You know, don't insult my intelligence. That's pretty much how I look at it. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. Like you said, the thing with the fans is that I would love to see everything that we've mentioned and everything we've talked about, from the plots to the characters and to the villains. But on the other hand, it's not like we can get everything what we want. I mean, that would be my dream trilogy right there, and, you know, dream plots for movies. But you can't do it most of the time. It's not like what they need is like a good ultimatum, like a good common ground. Have what we talked about, but have some things changed around so the general audience can be interested, and probably bring in new readers to the Fantastic Four. Because as big as the Fantastic Four are, the fan base has kind of dwindled a bit. Has anyone noticed that?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been liking Mr. Jonathan Hickman, who's awesome. I love his work, stuff he's done on S.H.I.E.L.D. and telling the back history of that. And I've been really interested in his stories, but I think Fantastic Four, the problem with that is that outside of Doom and Galactus, they kind of, like, their villains are, like, really up and down. I mean, Mole Man's fun, but it's like, he's okay.
Did anyone else have anything to say?
I think, you know, Chris and Zip pretty much said it best. You don't want to alienate your new readers, not new readers, but new viewers too much by throwing in too much fan material.
Yeah. You see, for me, I'm not the biggest fan of Fantastic Four, but I still respect the characters and I love them. But on the other hand, I always preferred, I love the family drama of it. I love some of, like, the hokey Star Trek stories to them. And Jonathan Hickman has been really good with the characters of the Fantastic Four, but now the FF. But if you do this into a movie, I would say, you know, I always keep saying this, if you're going to do comic book movies, bring in the writers. You know, bring in Jonathan Hickman if they're going to do a reboot, bring in Jonathan Hickman for the movie, for at least the first movie.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's mine also. Like, bringing the writers that are currently on the books or have worked on the characters before, and to give their segue into, is it good, or would you make a little tweaks to this and that? You know, just it shows the studios that they care about the source material. And let's face it, sometimes they don't, because they don't use the source material. They feel that they got their own ideas, and their own ideas are worth better than the source material. Example, Wolverine Origins. I'm gonna use it over and over. But look at that. As a whole movie, looking at the source material, and then you look at that movie, it's like, what did they do? Like, are you serious? You see? So yeah, it's a matter of speaking, of making being on level plane, with each other, understanding this and that, A, B, cause and effect, positive and negative, things like that.
Yeah. Now I wouldn't say like make it completely like the comic books, but make it but have some elements in there that'd be like, okay, they changed it, but it works. Kind of like what they did in Thor, where they had those changes in there for the people who don't know, but still have like those little teasers in there for the fans, like the show that we still listen to you guys, but don't have like so many cameos in a movie and have so many subplots, because that's the worst part with comic books, especially Spider-Man 3. Do we really need to talk about that? Of how many subplots damage that movie? And also, let's talk about X-Men Origins Wolverine. I mean, like you were saying before, too many cameos. I mean, I'm a fan, but even I got sick of that.
Yeah, it's kind of bad. It's like Wolverine was the main focus of the first 3 movies, but then he got his own movie and he got outshined in it.
Yeah.
Or Blade Trinity.
He's the best at what he does, but what he does, you won't get to see in that movie.
Nah.
Yeah.
You want to see that? Go watch Hulk versus Kitties.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's pretty much it. Well, if you want to see all these cameos, this useless cameos, then you'll go watch the movie. If you want a good laugh, then watch the movie, because that movie makes me laugh.
Yeah, that movie, it's a great comedy. It's a good comedy.
Yeah. If you people want to know, how come Blob is fat? Oh, I'll tell you what, he had an eating disorder. That's it. He had an eating disorder. That's why he's fat like that.
Let's see, what else did they completely mess up in movies? Oh yeah, the Spider-Man webbing.
Yeah, that was one of my big problems with Iron Man 2 as well. Like I said, it's an okay movie, but the problem with that is that Shield was too much in that. I just think that was too much Shield and Samuel L. Jackson, because I'm just gonna call him Samuel L. because he ain't Nick Fury to me, not yet. He got to prove himself. So yeah,
it's like if anybody knows the guy, it's just some random guy. He made a video where he was talking. He brought in the regular Nick Fury. I'm here to make you for the Avenger. And then the black, wait a minute, I got here first. So yeah, but yeah, I will agree also on Iron Man. Iron Man 2, it was entertaining. I was entertained, but they focused too much on the newer characters, Black Widow, people like that, and it was just like, it wasn't necessary.
You see, for me, I took it as a Marvel Universe movie rather than a Iron Man movie. I took it as that, like, Iron Man's now part of this universe, so, of course you're going to incorporate other Marvel characters.
Maybe they should have called it something else.
I understand the cameos. Like I said, it was leading up to Avengers. Everybody knows this by now, but I just felt like it was too much. Like, I felt like the subplot with Tony could have been taken out, like the whole thing with him with the heart and whatnot. That could have been taken out, because we all know he was going to heal from that eventually.
There's a fault that I've got to give Spider-Man 2. I actually didn't have a problem with the organic webbing, but the thing with him losing his powers, I thought it was totally unnecessary.
Okay, I agree with you on that one. Definitely. Him having a crisis, and he starts losing his powers.
Shouldn't that be a good thing?
Yeah, that just was weird to me.
For me, getting...
that's I'm sorry.
for me, getting on the Fantastic Four again, it's like trying to throw in all these different characters. Like, I want to see the Yancey Street Gang, but only one cameo. Like, you see them for one quick second and then they're gone. I would be okay with that. Same thing with, like, have Alicia Masters in here, but have her as, you know, make a couple scenes and her with a romantic interest with Ben. And, you know, even though Namor is not part of the 20th Century Fox movie verse of Fantastic Four, if they ever had Namor in a Fantastic Four movie, I beg that they never have this huge love triangle as the big part of the movie. Like, oh, do I love Reed or do I love Namor? And have them fight over each other in the end. And oh, here's the big battle. They're staring at each other. Who can be the most pretentious and emo? Oh wait, I'm thinking of another piece of shit franchise.
Yeah, that's the common problem with superhero movies. Like, they get to a point where the superheroes don't even want to. Like, I don't want to be Spider-Man. I don't want to be Batman anymore because it's too dangerous. I don't want to be the Fantastic Four. It's like.
Then why did you decide to be it in the first place? It's like, then why did you want to be this character in the first place? That's my thing with Spider-Man 2. Like, he was saying, like, I don't want to be Spider-Man anymore. Then why'd you decide in the first place?
Yeah, it's like, you got this big giant transforming car. It's like, stay away from me. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I would love to have something like that. I'd never go back to school again. I don't want you around me, Bumblebee. Get the hell out of here.
I'd be like, can your car do that, bitch?
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
The problem is that with these hero movies, and we always have the parts where the hero starts self-doubting himself or herself. You know, it's supposed to give them more humanness. Well, the problem about that is, it's like, most of these characters are beyond human anymore. So...
And top that off, they're fake.
It's like, yeah, and it's like, as much as I've seen it, it's like, if you watch the trailer of Captain America, I think I see a scene in there where he starts to self-doubt himself. I don't know if I can do this. And I'm like, whoa, now wait a minute. The day I see Steve self-doubting himself like that, you know, that's the day pigs are flying.
I was like, I don't mind those type of stories in the movies, but as so many superhero movies are coming out, as like the formula in Hollywood is, if there's a particular thing that does good, you try and replicate it as much as possible. What I'm afraid is you're going to, like, in the sequel departments, you're going to start oversaturating your movies with it so much you might lose interest in the fans.
Right. Yeah, right. That's it. I mean, on that sense, it does bother me when you see that kind of self-pity and instead of them taking responsibilities for, you know, why they did this. Like I've always said, go back to basics. Go back to basics with what brought them to the dance, what made them these heroes that they are, instead of, you know, maybe one mishap and they're ready to quit. You know, they want a normal life. Well, sometimes, you put on that mask or that cowl, you didn't have a normal life anymore. You know, that life is gone. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
that's gone. You're no longer just a normal woman or man anymore. It's just like how I always say about in Transformers 2 is where you got Optimus talking to Sam, and then here's Sam saying, "This isn't my war. I didn't want no part of it." The moment you got in the Bumblebee, you were a part of it. You dim-witted idiot. So
exactly.
Don't send me that crap about you didn't want this. You know, that's how I look at it.
Yeah. Well, I think we've pretty much covered everything in this last part. So, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I can't thank everyone enough for helping me out. TanakaCon 1985, Mount Vernon Kid, and Ziploc Gory. And, of course, Tori GNR1, who couldn't be here, but I want to thank you guys.
No problem.
That was a pleasure, man.
And I want to thank you guys for those who are still who kept listening, and later.